We have two types of antibiotics effective against bacteria. One category is called bactericidal agents, and then the second category is called bacteriostatic agents. Cidal mean which cause killing of the bacteria. अच्छा, अब बैक्टीरियासिडल का मतलब ये नहीं होता कि एंटीबायोटिक्स डायरेक्टली जाती हैं और जाके बैक्टीरिया को किल कर देती हैं, ऐसा नहीं होता. The antibiotics which are bactericidal in nature, they go and they interfere with some important and essential process within or outside the bacteria, and due to inhibition of that essential process, the bacteria dies itself. वो जिसे कहते हैं ना कि अपनी मौत आप मर जाना. फॉर एग्जांपल हमने डिस्कस किया बहुत डिटेल में बैक्टीरियल सेल वॉल सिंथेसिस इनहिबिटर्स. अब सारी ड्रग्स क्या करती थी, डिफरेंट पॉइंट्स पे जाके सेल वॉल सिंथेसिस को इनहिबिट कर, पोलिमराइजेशन क्रॉस लिंकिंग नहीं होती थी, और ड्यू टू वीक आउटर डिफेंस बैक्टीरिया हार्श इन्वायरमेंट में सर्वाइव नहीं करते थे और अपने आप ही वो मर जाते थे. तो वी कैन नॉट bacterial agents they kill the bacteria directly, they do not, but they do cause killing of the bacteria due to interference with some essential process. Likewise, bacteriostatic agents, what do? The bacteriostatic agent, they cause stasis, inhibition of the growth of the bacteria. When bacteria they do not multiply, then what happens is that the number it remains limited. तो इस लिमिट नंबर के ऊपर हमारी इम्यूनिटी फिर ओवरकम कर जाती है. ठीक है, अगर बैक्टीरिया मल्टीप्लाई करते रहे और उनका नंबर ज्यादा हो, उनकी रेजिस्टेंस ज्यादा हो अगेंस्ट आवर इम्यून सिस्टम, then we develop the infection and disease. But if somehow we limitize the infection by by limiting or hampering the bacterial growth and application process, then our body immune system it overcomes on all the bacteria which are present at the site of infection. The drugs which we discussed earlier, which were bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors, all of them they were bactericidal agents. Whereas the drugs which we are about to discuss today, that is aminoglycosides, they are also bactericidal. Although the rest of bacterial proteins, majority of them they are bacterial. Look at the table on the right side of the table. I am pronouncing the names of bacteriostatic agents which are bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors: chloramphenicol, clindamycin, macrolides, oxazolidinones, tetracycline, tigecycline. So these all antibiotics, they are bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors. They all are bacteriostatic. Whereas the only one agent which is aminoglycoside, it is also the bacterial protein synthesis inhibitor, but it is bactericidal. It is not bacteriostatic. So we will discuss in upcoming slides. सर्जिकल एंटी माइक्रोबियल प्रोफाइलैक्सिस डिटेल में हम बात कर चुके हैं इसकी. बस इसमें एक ही चीज़ अप्रिशिएट करनी है आपने, दैट इज फेजोलिन, द फर्स्ट जनरेशन सेफोस्पोरिन. इट इज द ड्रग ऑफ चॉइस अगेंस्ट many सर्जरीज एज अ प्रोफाइलैक्टिक एजेंट. तो अमाइनोग्लाइकोसाइड्स, अच्छा हमारे पास दो कैटेगरीज हैं, एक है अमाइनोग्लाइकोसाइड्स और एक है मैक्रोलाइड्स. बोथ ऑफ देम दे आर बैक्टीरियल प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस इनहिबिटर्स. तो इनके जो नाम है ये बड़े आपस में कंफ्यूज करते हैं, बिकॉज both of these drugs, both of these categories, they contain mycin at the end of their name as a suffix. तो इसको हमने थोड़ा सा डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करना है. Macrolides, they contain macro, ro, they contain ro in their name. For example, erythromycin, azithromycin, clarithromycin. The only exception is fidaxomicin. ये newer macrolide agent है, it does not contain ro in its name. And the last one is telithromycin. तो romycin macrolides हैं, ठीक है. Whereas simple mycins, they are aminoglycosides. For example, amikacin, gentamicin, gentamicin, kanamycin, streptomycin, needlemycin, neomycin, pectinomycin, tobramycin, paramomycin, and plazomycin. So these simple mycin, they are aminoglycosides, whereas raw mycins, majority of them, they are macrolides, although both of these groups, they are bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors. Today we have to discuss only the aminoglycosides. बड़ा short सा lecture है, परेशान नहीं होना आप लोगों ने. Okay. First of all, we will discuss that what is the mechanism of action of aminoglycosides. So please remember one thing, that the bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors, they will act inside the cell, they will act inside the cytoplasm, where the real-time protein synthesis takes place. Because everyone knows that DNA से mRNA बनता है, mRNA फिर आता है जी cytoplasm में, और वहाँ पर राइबोसोम्स के साथ मिलके कंबाइन होके वहाँ पे फिर क्या होती है जी, ट्रांसलेशन होती है, ट्रांसलोकेशन, सारे स्टेप्स होते हैं जिससे बैक्टीरियल प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस होती है. So these drugs, they have to act inside the cell in the cytoplasm. तो सीधी सी बात है, they have to cross all the initial barriers which are present outside the bacteria. That is, they have to cross the envelope, they have to cross the bacterial cell wall, and in case of gram-negative bacteria, they have to cross the outer membrane and inner membrane. So there are multiple barriers. So these drugs, they do not act until unless they reach inside the bacteria. इससे मैं एक चीज कह सकता हूँ, that the spectrum will depend upon the ability of the drug to cross the outer barriers. So aminoglycosides, they are unable to cross the outer barriers, and for the transport of aminoglycosides from outside to inside of the bacteria, there is need of oxygen dependent act. So this oxygen dependent active transporter is the actual transporter which is present in aerobic bacteria only. It is not present inside anaerobes. Why? Because it is oxygen dependent. So we can say that aminoglycosides, they will be very much effective against the aerobic bacteria, because aerobic bacteria will be containing the oxygen dependent transporter inside their outer barriers or outer cell membrane, cell envelope जो भी है. So that's why, based upon its this particular property, we say that aminoglycosides, they are effective against aerobic bacteria only, only aerobic bacteria. They are not effective against any sort of anaerobic bacteria. आगे चलते हैं जी. So what's the mechanism of action of the aminoglycosides? As you can see the picture, this is a very important picture as far as the aminoglycosides they are concerned. As you can see that in the center there is one elongated line which is representing the messenger RNA, and messenger RNA, it is forming the initiation complex with the ribosomal 30S and 50S subunit of the bacteria. Okay, please follow the pointer. This is the 50S ribosomal subunit, whereas this is the 30S ribosomal subunit. So these two subunits, they come and they combine with the messenger RNA, which comes from the direct transcription of the DNA. So this initiation complex, now this complex, it starts the formation of the peptide chain. So we have two antibiotics which come and bind with the 30S ribosomal subunit. One is the aminoglycosides and other is the tetracyclines. So the mnemonic to remember this is, as you can see on the lower right lower right corner, at 30 is mentioned. A for aminoglycosides and T for tetracyclines. It means that aminoglycosides and tetracyclines, once they reach inside the bacterial cell, there they bind with the 30S ribosomal subunit. This is the first point that you have to mention whenever you are describing the mechanism of action of bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors, that where do they bind initially. So these two antibiotics, aminoglycosides and tetracyclines, they bind with the 30S ribosomal subunit, whereas rest of the bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors, they bind with the 50S ribosomal subunit. This is the first step in the mechanism of action. After binding with the 30S ribosomal subunit, aminoglycosides, they do three things. Number one, please look at this diagram. This green line, it is the messenger RNA, this green line. Okay? This messenger RNA, it comes into the cytoplasm. First of all, there is attachment of 30S ribosomal subunit. Then there is attachment of 50S ribosomal subunit. Now this is the initiation complex. After the formation of initiation complex, there is transcription of this messenger RNA, and peptide chain, it starts growing and it starts growing, and ultimately this peptide chain, it is detached from this initiation complex, and this protein, it comes into the cytoplasm for various functions. So what do aminoglycosides play a role in inhibition of this protein synthesis? Please follow the pointer. They have three steps. Number one, they block the formation of initiation complex in the very first place. No initiation complex is formed. When no complex is formed, there is no reading of the messenger RNA. There is no formation of the peptides. Second mechanism of aminoglycosides is that if somehow the peptide chain it starts forming in the cytoplasm, then these aminoglycosides, after binding with the 30th ribosomal subunit, what do is that they cause misreading of the peptide chain. तो बनना कुछ होता है, बन कुछ और जाता है because of misreading of the messenger RNA. हमारे पास एक wrong protein की manufacturing हो जाती है which is useless for us, not for us but is useless for bacteria. The third mechanism is that they cause block of the translocation step. Translocation क्या होती है जी? हम पीछे जाते हैं. Translocation ये होती है कि जी एक follow the pointer please. This is the T6 transfer RNA. It is containing the 6th amino acid. This transfer RNA, it comes and it binds on the acceptor site, and after binding on the acceptor site, the initial 5 amino acid containing peptide chain, it is transferred to the incoming transfer RNA, which is containing the 6th amino acid. So this is called the translocation step, in which the growing peptide chain, it is transferred from the previous transfer RNA to the newly incoming transfer RNA. So after this translocation, there is formation of peptide bond in between the amino acid 5 and 6 as per this diagram. And this old transfer RNA T5, it is exited from the initiation complex. So this translocation step is also blocked by the aminoglycosides. So we have three mechanisms. First, they go into the cell with the help of oxygen dependent transporter in aerobic bacteria, and after going into the cytoplasm, they cause three steps by which they cause block of the protein synthesis. What are the general principles regarding the pharmacokinetics of all the aminoglycosides? Effective against aerobic gram-negative organisms only, gram-negative. Why they are not effective against gram-positive organisms? Because gram-positive organisms, they contain very, very thick and tough and rigid cell wall outside their outside their cytoplasmic membrane. So due to the lack of penetration from the bacterial tough cell wall in gram-positive organism, it becomes impossible for the aminoglycosides to penetrate into the cytoplasm. So they have very limited spectrum just because of their aerobic dependency and just because of their penetration into the cell. They are highly polar compounds, extremely polar compounds, which means they are charged compounds. हम जनरल में डिस्कस कर चुके हैं that charged substances, charged compound, they are freely soluble in the water and they do not need any metabolism. That's why they are freely filtered by the kidneys and they appear directly into the urine. And they're highly polar compounds. They cannot cross the blood-brain barrier. Since they cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, they cannot be prescribed to treat the meningeal infection or cerebral infections. No oral absorption. Why? Because they are polar compounds. They are water soluble. Membrane से absorption नहीं होगी GIT के अंदर because cells they contain lipid bilayer. Absorption नहीं होगी because they are water soluble. So we cannot give them as oral antibiotics. They are given only as parenteral antibiotics. आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं स्किन के ऊपर, आप IV इंजेक्शन दे सकते हैं, IV इंजेक्शन दे सकते हैं, but you cannot give them orally. They can be administered parenterally only, and glomerular filtration is the only mode of excretion. They are freely filtered by the kidneys. Why? Because they are water soluble, they are polar compounds. And they have low volume of distribution. Why? Because they are highly water soluble. They cannot cross many barriers in the body. They cannot be present at all the sites in the body. What are the general principles of pharmacodynamics? These antibiotics, they have three important features. Aminoglycoside, daptomycin. Daptomycin is the bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors. And aminoglycoside and daptomycin predominantly they exhibit the phenomena of concentration dependent killing. It means that आप इनको दिन में 3 दफा इंजेक्ट करने की जगह अगर एक साथ ही इसको बल्क में इंजेक्ट कर देंगे as once daily dosing, then they will show more killing effect as compared to the divided doses. So concentration एक साथ बढ़ा दो तो इनका killing effect भी एक साथ बढ़ जाता है. So this is very good property as far as the aminoglycosides they are concerned. They have very good post antibiotic effect. It's because that aminoglycosides they bind with the proteins in the blood, predominantly albumins, and they keep on releasing themselves from the proteins. So after stopping the treatment with aminoglycosides, 5 days, 7 days, even 10 days तक भी इनका effect आता रहता है because aminoglycosides they keep on releasing from the proteins. So that's why they have very good post-antibiotic effect, and they show synergistic effects with bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Excellent point. Aminoglycosides usually they are prescribed along with the cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Why? Because cell wall synthesis inhibitors, what do they do is that they cause inhibition of the cell wall. No cell wall or weak cell wall, it allows the very good penetration of aminoglycosides into the cytoplasm of bacteria, and very easy entry into the bacterial cytoplasm makes them very good and effective. So whenever we combine bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors along with the bacterial protein synthesis inhibitors, then we get synergistic effects. ओके हमारे पास बच्चों दो फिनोमिना होते हैं. एक होता है कि हमारे पास समेशन और एक होता है पोटेंशिएशन. हम जब भी दो ड्रग्स कंबाइन करते हैं और कंबाइन करने से इफेक्ट जो है कंबाइन करने से अगर इफेक्ट बढ़ जाता है तो उसे हम कहते हैं दैट दिस इज द साइनर्जिज्म, कि दोनों ड्रग्स ने मिलके गुड इफेक्ट दे दिया. So this synergism it has two types. One is the summation, other is the potentiation. अब summation ये होती है कि अगर हमारे पास दो ड्रग्स हैं, ड्रग ए और दूसरी ड्रग बी. ड्रग ए इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस करती है फॉर एग्जांपल 4, ठीक है, और ड्रग बी इफेक्ट करती है प्रोड्यूस करती है फॉर एग्जांपल 5. तो अब हम इन दोनों को एक साथ दे देंगे तो कंबाइन करने से अगर इनका जो इफेक्ट है 4 + 5 = 9, ठीक है. अगर इनका जो इफेक्ट है कंबाइन करने के बाद इनके इंडिविजुअल इफेक्ट को सम करने के बराबर आता है, देन दिस सिनर्जिस्टिक इफेक्ट इज कॉल्ड समेशन. अगर इन दोनों एंटीबायोटिक्स को कंबाइन करने के बाद इनका जो सिनर्जिस्टिक इफेक्ट आता है वो इनके मैथमेटिकल सम इफेक्ट से ज्यादा होता है, देन वी से दैट दिस इज द पोटेंशिएशन. फॉर एग्जांपल ड्रग ए ड्रग बी हम कंबाइन करते हैं, 4 + 5 9 की जगह हमारे पास 15 बन जाता है, देन वी से दैट ड्रग ए एंड बी they have potentiated each other's effect, or the drug A has potentiated the effect of drug B. So aminoglycosides, yes, they do show the phenomena of synergism whenever they are combined with the bacterial cell wall synthesis inhibitors, but phenomena of potentiation it prevails rather than the summation. And देखिए इतना अच्छा इफेक्ट आता है, that potentiation prevails, not the summation. ओके जी. आप में से कोई भी बच्चा मुझे एग्जांपल दे सकता है कि हमने अब तक जो फार्माकोलॉजी पढ़ी है उसमें हमने किसी जगह पे कोई एग्जांपल पढ़ी है जहाँ पे हम बैक्टीरियल सेल वॉल सिंथेसिस इनहिबिटर्स को बैक्टीरियल प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस इनहिबिटर्स के साथ कंबाइन करके दे रहे हूँ? जो बच्चा सबसे पहले और सही बताएगा आई विल गिव एक्स्ट्रा 3 मार्क्स इन टुडेज क्विज. सोचो जरा यार, कहाँ पढ़ा है हमने ये एक्स्ट्रा 3 मार्क्स? प्लीज रेज योर हैंड. सुमेरा हनीफ ने सबसे पहले हाथ खड़ा किया जी, फिर अज़का ने, फिर शाजिया ने. पहले सुमेरा से पूछते हैं जी.
सर लिस्टीरियन
इन्फेक्शन, कौन सा इन्फेक्शन?
मतलब लिस्टीरिया मोनोसाइटोजेंस जो इन्फेक्शन अगर कॉज करवाए, लिस्टीरियन
वहाँ होता है, वहाँ बिल्कुल होता है, लेकिन हमने अभी पढ़ा नहीं हमने कोई एग्जांपल ऐसे जो हम पढ़ चुके हों. आप बिल्कुल ठीक कह रही हैं, प्रीवियस फार्माकोलॉजी जो हमने पढ़ी हो अब तक.
सर
चलें अज़का जी बोलें. अज़का से पूछते हैं जी, एक सेकंड. शाजिया से भी पूछ लेते हैं. बड़ी अच्छी एग्जांपल थी हमने पढ़ी थी पीछे, मतलब वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जांपल थी. मैं आपको अलाउ कर रहा हूँ जी, आप अपना माइक खुद ऑन करने शाजिया, बताएं, बोलें शाजिया. शाजिया योर माइक इज ऑन, यू कैन स्पीक.
सर जो एंटेरोकोकल इन्फेक्शन है होती है उसमें भी तो कंबाइन करके देते हैं ना पेनिसिलिन्स को विद अमाइनोग्लाइकोसाइड्स.
ये हम पढ़ चुके हैं.
और यस सर चैप्टर में ही है ये. इसके अलावा सर सूडोमोनल इन्फेक्शन जो होती है उसमें भी जो एक्सटेंडेड स्पेक्ट्रम बीटा
कीमो छोड़ दो,
लैक्टामेजेस
कीमो से थोड़ा
उसमें
पीछे
भी
चले
है।
जाओ, कीमो से थोड़ा पीछे चले जाओ, बाकी रेस्ट ऑफ फार्माकोलॉजी में कहाँ पढ़ा है इसको। चलें जी, मैं खुद ही बता देता हूँ फिर आप लोगों को। ये पढ़ा था हमने, ट्रिपल थेरेपी फॉर पेप्टिक अल्सर, we combined amoxicillin with clarithromycin. ट्रिपल थेरेपी इज इक्वल टू 2 एंटीबायोटिक्स एंड 1 PPI। जो 2 एंटीबायोटिक्स थी उसमें हमने बात की थी क्लैरिथ्रोमाइसिन एंड अमोक्सिसिलिन। द अल्सर नीड्स अ कैप, C for clarithromycin, A for amoxicillin. Amoxicillin is the penicillin salvation inhibitors, whereas clarithromycin, तो romycin है तो ये macrolide होगा। So this is the combination that we use effectively for the eradication of peptic ulcer caused by the H. pylori bacteria. Okay, mechanism of resistance. The resistance is plasmid mediated, and it causes the formation of enzymes which cause the inactivation of the aminoglycosides. This is the only mechanism of resistance by the aerobic gram-negative bacteria against the aminoglycosides. क्लिनिकल यूजेस, अब चूंकि इसका स्पेक्ट्रम लिमिटेड है तो इससे क्लिनिकल यूजेस भी बहुत लिमिटेड है। इसमें जो एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात याद रखने वाली है, दैट इज द फर्स्ट लाइन, no, it's not mentioned. The important point to remember regarding the clinical use of aminoglycosides is that the aminoglycosides, they have varying degree of activity against the same spectrum of the bacteria. I mean to say is that कि जेंटामाइसिन है तो वो जिन ऑर्गेनिज्म के अगेंस्ट इफेक्टिव होगी, जरूरी नहीं कि टोब्रामाइसिन भी उनके अगेंस्ट ही इफेक्टिव हो। दे हैव इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंसेस इन दिस स्पेक्ट्रम, बट छोटे छोटे से हैं। Gentamicin, tobramycin, and amikacin, they are important drugs for the treatment of infections caused by aerobic gram-negative bacteria, which include E. coli, Enterobacter, Klebsiella, Proteus, Providentia, Pseudomonas, and Serratia species. Next is the special combination, which is the stactinomycin and penicillin combination. अभी हमने बात की कि हम कंबाइन करते हैं बैक्टीरियल सेल्वा सेंस इनहिबिटर्स को प्रोटीन सेंस इनहिबिटर्स के साथ। सो वन ऑफ द गुड कॉम्बिनेशन इज स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन एंड पेनिसिलिन combination. This is very much effective combination for the treatment of enterococcal endocarditis, and this can also be used to treat tuberculosis, plague, and tularemia. Neomycin and kanamycin, they have very much toxic potential, and they are not used except for the topical application or for the bowel preparation. अच्छा, हमारे पास एक टर्मिनोलॉजी होती है जी, bowel preparation. What is the bowel preparation? जब भी जनरल सर्जन्स एब्डोमेन के ऊपर ऑपरेट करते हैं, एंड इफ द सर्जरी इज इलेक्टिव, आई मीन टू से कि वो इलेक्टिव का मतलब ये है कि आप उसको प्लान करके करते हैं कि वो सर्जरी जो है इमरजेंसी में ना हो। तो जब भी इंटेस्टाइन के ऊपर सर्जरी होती है, दैट एंड इफ इट इज इलेक्टिव सर्जरी, देन बिफोर परफॉर्मिंग सर्जरी द जनरल सर्जन दे प्रिपेयर द इंटेस्टाइन, mostly the colon or the large intestine, for the better results of the surgery. क्या करते हैं कि कोलन की या लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन की इवैक्यूएशन करते हैं, कुछ दिन पहले सॉलिड्स बंद कर देते हैं, फिर आस्ते आस्ते लिक्विड्स बंद कर देते हैं, और पेशेंट को फिर आस्ते आस्ते सिर्फ और सिर्फ वाटर पे रखते हैं, सो दैट all the digested and undigested food, it may be cleansed or cleared from the intestine. और उसके साथ साथ हम कुछ एंटीबायोटिक्स देते हैं, which include neomycin, erythromycin. ये एंटीबायोटिक्स दे के हम all the organisms which are present in the large intestine, उनको हम थोड़ा स्ट्रेस कर देते हैं, उनको थोड़ा किल कर देते हैं, कि हम जैसे ही वहाँ इंटेस्टाइन पे ऑपरेट करें, वहाँ कट लगाएं, तो बैक्टीरिया की या माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स की डायरेक्ट एडिशन या एब्जॉर्प्शन ना हो इनटू द ब्लड। जब आप इंटेस्टाइन को कट करेंगे, ब्लीडिंग होगी, यू विल बी इंटरफेयरिंग विद द डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म, मिकोजा को आप कट करेंगे तो जितने भी वहाँ पे माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स है वहाँ पे वो एब्जॉर्ब हो सकते हैं। तो बिफोर दैट वी क्लीन द लार्ज इंटेस्टाइन and by restricting the food, and we also do the cleansing of the colon with the help of different enemas, and we also give certain antibiotics to restrict the bacterial growth, and we also kill certain microorganisms so that the surgery may become more and more successful. So this is called the pre-operative surgical preparation of the bowel. इसके अंदर multiple steps होते हैं. One of the step is to give neomycin. So because of their extreme toxicity, neomycin, it is never ever used systemically, but it is used as topical agent. It can be applied onto the skin, or it can also be given as one of the agent to prepare the bowel before surgery in elective surgeries. Toxicity, aminoglycosides, they have 5 adverse effects. Amino, AMINO, A for allergic skin reactions, M for muscular block, I for increased risk of fetal deafness during pregnancy, N for their nephrotoxic, and O for their ototoxic. Allergic skin reaction, they occur in patients, and most of the time these allergic skin reactions, they occur in persons who are handling the aminoglycosides, the factory workers, the persons who are working inside pharmaceutical factory. And if they're handling the neomycin, or if they're handling the aminoglycosides with their bare hands, naked hands, then they can develop the contact dermatitis. And neomycin is the agent which has the which is notorious for having the most serious potential of this adverse effect, that is contact dermatitis. So this allergic skin reaction, it is only the contact dermatitis. Provate G cream, it is very good cream. Provate सादी भी आती है, Provate simple, which contains betamethasone, which is the corticosteroid. हम पढ़ेंगे जल्दी इंशाल्लाह. But the Provate G stands for gentamicin. The Provate G, it contains betamethasone and gentamicin. So it is the topical cream for the treatment of various forms of dermatitis. Muscle block. We have 2 types of skeletal muscle relaxants or muscle blockers. One is the depolarizing type of skeletal muscle relaxant. The second is the non-depolarizing. These aminoglycosides, they have additional property that they can act as non-depolarizing skeletal muscle blockers. That is, they can block the NM receptors at the skeletal muscle motor and plate. So this is their effect, which is independent of the bacterial protein synthesis inhibition. ये इनका अपना एक extra effect है, ठीक है? So they act as non-depolarizing agents, for example, atracurium, mivacurium, tubocurarine, and much more. So the toxicity caused by aminoglycosides, it can be reversed by giving or by treating with calcium, high-dose calcium, or we can reverse it with the help of neostigmine. Neostigmine is a drug of choice. Neostigmine, edrophonium, these are the indirect acting cholinomimetics. They increase the levels of acetylcholine at neuromuscular synapses by blocking the acetylcholinesterase enzyme. So these are the 2 options to reverse this toxicity. Next, they have the increased risk of fetal deafness during pregnancy. They are ototoxic, and they are so much ototoxic that if the pregnant lady takes aminoglycosides for any issue or any problem, then the fetus can even get the toxic effect. Nephrotoxicity, usually it is reversible, and nephrotoxicity, they cause acute tubular necrosis. We have multiple tubules in the nephron. These tubules, they are necrosed due to the use of aminoglycosides. Please wait for 1 minute. I'm coming back. Okay जी, very sorry, I had to go. मेरा ख्याल आपने स्लाइड पढ़ ली होगी. Gentamicin, tobramycin, they are most nephrotoxic, and these 2 drugs, gentamicin and tobramycin, they are vestibulotoxic. हमारे पास जो ऑटोटॉक्सिसिटी होती है वो 2 तरह की होती है. नंबर 1 इज द कॉक्लियोटॉक्सिक, नंबर 2 इज द वेस्टिबुलोटॉक्सिक. ईयर के हमारे पास 2 पार्ट हैं. एक पार्ट है जो हेयरिंग से रिलेटेड है, विच इज कॉक्लिया, और एक पार्ट है जो हमारा बैलेंस से रिलेटेड है, विच इज कॉल्ड द वेस्टिब्यूल. So aminoglycosides, they are vestibulotoxic and they are cochliotoxic. Gentamicin, tobramycin, they are most nephrotoxic and they are most vestibulotoxic, whereas amikacin and kanamycin, ठीक है, कान से, कान के से kanamycin और कान के ए से amikacin. Amikacin and kanamycin, they are most cochleotoxic, they cause deafness. इसकी बात होगी ऑटोटॉक्सिसिटी. Why once daily dosing is preferred in case of aminoglycosides? The average half-life of aminoglycosides is 2 to 3 hours only. ठीक है, हम बार-बार 4 to 5 times इंजेक्ट करने की जगह, ठीक है, अगर once daily dosing दे देंगे उसके दो फायदे हैं. नंबर 1, पेशेंट रिपीटेड इंजेक्शन से बच जाएगा, रादर देन कि आप एक पेशेंट को डेली 4 से 5 दफा इंजेक्शन लगाओ, उसकी जगह अगर आप उसको एक साथ ही हाई डोज में लगा दो तो उसकी रिपीटेड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन से छुट्टी हो जानी है. दूसरा, there will be concentration dependent killing and post antibiotic effect. तो हमारे पास 3 good points हैं. Beprogent, it contains betamethasone and gentamicin just like Provate G. कंपनी का डिफरेंस है, ठीक है. Beprogent भी अच्छी है, एंड Provate G वो भी बहुत अच्छी है. इंजेक्शन ग्रासिल अमीकासिन के नाम से आता है, ये बहुत यूज होता है, जनरल सर्जन इसको बहुत ज्यादा यूज करते हैं. अमीकासिन, ग्रासिल लगा दो जी, ग्रासिल लगा दो. Tobramycin and dexamethasone combination में आता है. Tobramycin is aminoglycoside, dexamethasone is our steroid. Dexatop हमारे पास राइट साइड पे, it is the otic drops कान में डालने के लिए, whereas Tobradex ये हमारे पास ophthalmic suspension है आंख में डालने के लिए. हमारे पास कुछ प्रेपरेशंस आती हैं जो आप ईयर में भी डाल सकते हैं, आई में भी डाल सकते हैं, बट हमारे पास मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द टाइम सेपरेट प्रेपरेशंस होती हैं ईयर के लिए और सेपरेट होती है हमारे पास आई के लिए. तो आपने केयरफुली प्रेस्क्राइब करना है कि आप कौन सी प्रेस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं, ईयर के लिए या आई के लिए. Likewise, we have Clobiderm NN. Clobiderm, Clobi mean clobetasol. ठीक है, clobetasol is our steroid and derm mean कि आप स्किन पे लगानी है. NN mean double N. One N stands for neomycin, the second N it stands for nystatin. अब right side पे देखें, Clobiderm NN, clobetasol propionate plus neomycin plus nystatin. Neomycin is what? Neomycin is our aminoglycoside, whereas nystatin is our antifungal agent. This is the cocktail of 3 categories of drugs: corticosteroids, antibiotic and antifungal agent. तो बहुत अच्छा इफेक्ट आता है जो क्लोबिडर्म एनएन के यूज की वजह से, because it contains wide coverage. Canacom cream, I'm sure you can appreciate the composition. It contains nystatin, antifungal, neomycin, antibiotic of aminoglycoside nature, gramicidin, इसका मुझे नहीं पता, इसको आप भी देखना, मैं भी देख लूंगा, with triamcinolone acetate. Triamcinolone is what? It is corticosteroid. So it is extremely effective also. मतलब मैं इसको बड़ा यूज करता हूँ, बहुत अच्छी ये कॉम्बिनेशन है. बच्चों में बहुत इफेक्टिव है, more particularly if the baby develops the napkin rash, it gives excellent results. Canacom cream. Then we have spectinomycin. Spectinomycin is related to aminoglycosides. It is not the true aminoglycoside. Aminoglycosides. Amino mean they contain amino acid or amino moiety. Glyco mean they contain the sugar moiety और aminoglycosides बन जाता है. But spectinomycin it lacks amino sugars and glycosidic bonds. इसमें इन चीजों की डेफिशिएंसी होती है. Otherwise the mechanism of action and its effects they are just like the aminoglycosides. But चूंकि इससे केमिकल स्ट्रक्चर डिफरेंट है aminoglycosides से, ठीक है, रिलेटेड तो है लेकिन थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस आ जाता है because they lack amino sugars and glycosidic bonds. So that's why it is a separate category which is a spectinomycin. और इसमें ये एक ही ड्रग है और कोई ड्रग नहीं इसके अंदर. It has no direct or primary indication. It is used almost exclusively as an alternative agent for the treatment of drug-resistant gonorrhea or gonorrhea in penicillin allergic patient. Gonorrhea is the disease which is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Gonorrhea is the sexually transmitted disease and it is very cumbersome disease. So it is the alternative drug of choice to treat the gonorrhea. But there are certain strains of gonococci which have become resistant to spectinomycin. It is not recommended for the treatment of pharyngeal gonococcal infection due to high failure rates. ठीक है? It is only used as alternative drug for the treatment of gonorrhea, which is STD. and it can cause pain at injection site, fever, nausea, nephrotoxicity, and anemia. Very rarely used. We are done with the aminoglycosides. If you have any questions, you can ask regarding aminoglycosides. You can raise the hand. No question? Okay, you can sign up. Result मैं थोड़ा late prepare करूँगा, ठीक है, सारी mistakes check करने के बाद, but you will get the result tonight inshallah.